You are listening to From Ring to Veil.
I'm Shannon.
And I'm Kim.
And we are your wedding planning gurus.
We take the stress out
and put the fun back into wedding planning. Elopements, episode number 124.
Today we are going to talk about elopements with a special guest host. But before we get to that, we have some very special thank yous.
Marla singer, Jen Loves Dan, and Ciaocat all reviewed us on iTunes.
Yay!
And Jen Loves Dan was from the UK, so we're global now.
We are global. Thank you guys. That is so sweet of you. I know we ask for them, but you don't expect it. And then when it shows up, it's like, oh, somebody loves us.
You really like me. I'm Sally Field today.
So thank you so very much for those. It just keeps us going. Mm-hmm. It really does. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. All right, let's get to our talk with Erika Hernandez. Erika Hernandez of The Greatest Adventure is here with us today.
She is a senior planner with New Creations Weddings and specializes in elopements.
She brings to the table her experience with professional sports, corporate conferencing, and nonprofits, as well as working with some of Seattle's top wedding coordinators.
Erika is here with us today to explore the topic of elopements. Welcome, Erika.
Hello. Happy to be here.
Thanks for coming all the way out from Seattle over here.
No traffic. We're good.
So we always like to start out just with a little, how did you get here?
Right.
And a little bit about your journey.
Okay.
You want to share that with us?
Yeah, definitely. So I started event planning right after college. And I knew I wanted to do weddings, but it's really hard to get into weddings. Everyone owns their own business, so not a lot of people are looking for help because, there's barely enough business for themselves. So I knew I had to get experience first. So I did that by, as you mentioned, I worked for nonprofits. A lot of it was volunteer at first. I worked for a business development company. I spent a year with the Seahawks doing events with them, which was a ton of experience in a really short amount of time, all while volunteering and interning and assisting for wedding planners and floral designers, just trying to get as much experience as possible. And then eventually I felt like I had enough experience to start my own business. And at that time, I actually met Rebecca of New Creations, and we kind of joined forces.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I've been with her for over 2 years now.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good way to start out, is get as much under your belt as you can.
Definitely.
Because, it's a scary thing to do if you don't know anything or anybody in the business.
Definitely. There's a lot of people that will plan their own wedding and then they're like, oh, I want to be a wedding planner. No offense to them, but
if it works and you're really good at it,
exactly.
Great, but
more power to you.
Not going to comment on that subject. So what kind of degree do you have? I'm just curious.
My degree is actually in biocultural anthropology, so has nothing to do with weddings. I was planning on going into nursing or forensics, which I'm still very interested in, but I got a little more squeamish over the years, and there were some other factors involved, but I pretty much fell in love with event planning when I was volunteering for the Red Cross. I got an internship for a friend who was an event planner. So she started doing event planning for the Red Cross. And that's kind of when I realized, oh, this can actually be a real job. Yeah. People are actually event planners, wedding planners. Yeah.
So what kind of events does the Red Cross put on?
Like charity
stuff? Charity events, yeah. And then they have a lot of educational programs. Like what I was doing was teaching for them. So,
okay.
Yeah.
How neat. That's a really unique, I think, story
it's a really
that you bring to the table.
Strange background.
Yeah.
But what I love about anthropology is that it's always about learning people's stories. And that's part of my favorite thing about wedding planning is getting to know the couples and incorporating their story into their day. So, yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So you specialize in elopements.
I do.
Can you tell us what exactly is an elopement?
Well, historically, an elopement was, when you think of it, you think of more the Romeo and Juliet type story where you have disapproving parents and they make a sudden decision to run off and get married. Nowadays, it kind of incorporates, anything from the two of you on a mountaintop to a small destination wedding. It's kind of a more broad term these days.
Yeah, I read a lot of Jane Austen and things like that. And so when they say, oh, we're going to go get elope, and you're like, oh no, they're going to do it in the secret, and somebody's going to have to pay their dowry so they can live.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
It's a big deal. Drama.
Exactly.
But not anymore.
And in the past, too, I feel like you also think of, running away to Vegas or this sort of running away without telling anyone. A lot of times now it's a more planned event, even if it's just the two of you. Mm-hmm. There's just more going on in life.
So this is not on our list, but if a couple says, let's elope, they can still let everybody know they're getting married and then have their reception party later.
Definitely.
Is that more kind of like what it is?
Yeah. And I'll get into that a little bit more too, but I definitely recommend that. A lot of times friends and family are a little upset that they're not going to be a part of it. So I always think it's really nice to go off and do your thing, just the two of you, and then come back and celebrate with everyone, even if it's just a dance party and some appetizers or dance party and some pizza. Just something to be with everyone. And I think that's really nice.
Okay. We'll get into that, like you said. What would be the reasons why a couple would want to elope?
There are a lot of different reasons. Money is one of them. They're definitely, an elopement is definitely cheaper than a wedding. I don't want to say it's always a cheap option because it depends on what you do. Sometimes family dynamics are a little bit tricky. Sometimes the couple is they're an adventurous couple, which I love adventurous couples, so come find me. If you want to get married on top of a mountain, let's do it.
We have a couple mountains around here you could do that on.
There are a few, yeah. But yeah, they're adventurous, love to travel, so they want to go do something across the world but can't bring everyone. In those situations, I really think it's an awesome idea to bring along a videographer, and then you can, if you have a party back home, you can play the video for your friends and family. I always love that. So yeah, there's a lot of different reasons why people elope. Sometimes people are in the military and you need to do a quick elopement before they're shipped off to the Middle East. Tons of different reasons. It's not always disapproving parents.
Right. Feuding parents.
Exactly.
So how do you plan for an elopement?
It's really similar to planning for a wedding, honestly. Sometimes the logistics are a lot more simple because you're not coordinating as many vendors or a big, lots of decor or at a venue. But sometimes they're more challenging, if we do want to go to the top of a mountain. We've had a team lug all of the decor and a cake up a mountain.
Oh my gosh.
So, it depends.
So you mentioned price. Let's just talk about that. What is the average price, or what is an average scale range?
So cost is another one that just varies. It depends on how many vendors are involved, if there's any vendors involved at all. Are you traveling abroad? Are you bringing people with you? Are you paying for those people to travel? Are you feeding them and housing them? It really just depends. You could just the two of you and me go up to the top of a mountain and I can officiate, I can do your flowers, and I can basically be your general pack mule. I've taken my backpack and just put a bunch of stuff in it and hiked up a mountain before. So something like that, is closer to around $1,000. But it varies. I do custom packages for everyone because not everyone needs all of my services. And then even though I offer, florals, I do love working with other florists who want to be involved in elopements. And it really depends because someone could have a videographer and a photographer.
Right.
They could want to do a cake on the top of a mountain, but some people keep it simple where it would just be me and them. So price really varies.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. So I'm hearing about $1,000 on the lowest end. What's like the highest that you've done anything for?
For an elopement, I'm working on one right now that's probably going to be about. It's hard to say because we're in the very beginning of the planning process, but it's probably going to be around $50,000.
Okay. Wow.
And that's because we're going down to like Santa Barbara or Laguna Beach area. It's
Okay.
going to be SoCal, and she doesn't even want to do a big wedding. It's actually the groom that does. So we're going to be going down there, and they're going to be bringing 50 to 80 family members.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so we're still considering it. It's more of a destination wedding.
Right.
It started off as an elopement and has grown. But yeah, price ranges incredibly.
Well, it's good to know.
Yeah.
That, just because it's elopement doesn't mean it's going to be cheap.
Exactly. It's not always the cheap option.
Right.
So right now there's a big thing called pop-up weddings. I know this isn't on the list, but what's the difference between a pop-up wedding, say, and an elopement?
I actually have just started hearing the term pop-up wedding myself. So I honestly am not even sure what that is.
Okay.
Maybe you can tell me what a pop-up wedding is.
I mean, we had an episode on this before, but I guess you could
From what we have found.
Yeah.
Okay.
What we have found is it's an all-inclusive service,
Right.
Where the planner provides everything, kind of like what you do,
Right.
and they go to a certain spot and have a wedding.
And I think it's usually a predetermined time. We're doing pop-up
Yeah.
weddings on this
Right.
day and time.
Yeah, like she can
get
do
married.
many different weddings on that
Okay,
day.
so she sets up like a ceremony
yes.
space, and then multiple people can come in
Yes.
and get
Right.
married. Okay, so it's basically like a traveling elopement chapel.
Basically, yeah, that's what it is, which I think is a kind of a really cool service.
Yeah, that is a really cool idea. So I guess the difference between that would be is I'm not setting up a full wedding, and it's not multiple people coming in. It would all be pre-planned, and it would be at different locations, and it's not all inclusive in the sense that, I'm not providing photography and videography and all of those things. And I have had makeup artists and photographers come to me and want to start a package with me that is all inclusive.
Yeah.
But I think it's different for everyone.
Right.
There's no real one-stop shop for everyone. As much as I want to make it as easy as possible for
Right.
everyone, I still want it to be somewhat customizable so they have a choice, because everyone has a different style and
Right.
budget.
This makeup
It's
artist
true.
is not going to work with this type of
Exactly.
person,
Or, this
so-
photography style is not
Yeah.
right for this
That is hard
couple.
to like have vendors come in and say, "Ooh, I want to work with you for this."
Exactly. I definitely have my go-to, so
Yeah.
it's very easy. So it is
Right.
still somewhat of a pop-up shop.
Exactly. You have your own little package in that you have the people that you know who you like to work with. And
Exactly.
You can tell your brides or your couples that these are the people that you should go with.
Exactly. Yep.
Even in regular planning, of a
Yeah,
wedding,
exactly.
You have your preferred, so.
Right.
So when it comes to elopements, can they elope anytime, anywhere?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. I honestly, there's not a lot of, if it's a small enough wedding, you can go to a beach and just get married. You don't have to get permitting or anything like that. We're not setting up chairs and a big, huge deal. But, there's some places, like I've done one at just Discovery Park before where technically, I guess you're supposed to have a permit for these things, but I'm more of like, do it now, apologize later.
I'll go right over here and get married real quick.
Take some photos. No one will know.
I wonder about venues, if they would let you do that too without having to charge you a full price for a full wedding.
There are definitely some venues that do that. I actually just visited a venue up in Victoria called Hatley Castle. It's awesome. So if anyone wants to get married there, I would do it for free. But they offer an elopement package in the morning, and then they'll do a full service wedding during the afternoon, evening. So in the morning, you just have it for a few hours, basically to do the ceremony, and they'll do, they can pass around champagne or something like that afterwards. But it's definitely less expensive than their full service option.
I think that's a good option.
Yeah.
Especially if there's this place that you really want to get married at. You can't necessarily afford a full-on wedding there.
Right.
You can go elope there, have your ceremony, pictures, whatever, and then do your...
Exactly. And I love the way that venue does it specifically, because you can only do that type of ceremony in the morning, whereas some venues, they'll double book full-on weddings, which is
True.
just insane to me.
Yeah.
But that way they can still make money during those hours, and elopement couples have an option.
Exactly.
Especially if they're not wanting to get married in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
A lot of couples do
Or
like
on a
venues
beach.
still.
Or in a park where they're supposed to get permit.
Right, exactly. That's why I like the adventurous couple.
Exactly.
So what are some do and don'ts of elopements?
One of my big do's is tell your friends and family before you go off and elope. Prepare yourself for their reactions. They're not always going to be happy about it, especially parents, sometimes grandparents. But one of my big don'ts is don't feel guilty. It's about you guys and what works best for you. It's supposed to be a special moment for you guys. And like I said, there's ways to have your family involved, even if it's not right there during, the sharing of your vows. And one of my other don'ts is don't let social media be the bad guy. So this kind of ties in. Tell your family, give them a call before you post it all over Facebook.
Right.
That's a big no-no.
Can you imagine? You did what?
Right, exactly. So another do is what we talked about earlier. Plan a brunch or a party, some sort of reception when you get back just to celebrate your friends and family. It could be as simple as a barbecue in your backyard. Oh, yeah. Just something, to share with your families. And
when are they supposed to give you your gifts?
Right, exactly. Doesn't everyone want gifts? Another don't forget about legal and cultural details. Just depending on where you're going, like especially if you're traveling abroad, there's certain legal things to think about. A cultural thing that is really funny is I was reading about a couple who was eloping in Tennessee, and they did it on a Sunday, but liquor stores aren't open on Sundays in the South, so they couldn't get champagne to celebrate. Little things like that. And when you're signing a marriage license, a lot of times you need your ID, birth certificates, proof of divorce or death if you had a wife or husband pass away. There's waiting periods and appointments and all those types of things to think about. So if you're traveling abroad, what I really recommend doing is just signing your marriage license stateside and then do the ceremony elsewhere.
Right.
But
so it's okay to do that. You get your marriage license here, you sign that and everything, and you're still legally married even if it's on foreign soil.
Yep, because the ceremony wouldn't be the legal ceremony. Okay. You guys are already legally married in that case. That just, if you are okay with doing that, that just makes it so much easier.
Okay. Yeah. What happens if you weren't to do that? Would you have to come back and then get a marriage certificate?
It depends on the location. Okay. A lot of times if you're getting married within the United States, it'll be valid here.
Right.
And it's going to be different for each country. So we would work on that together. I would be doing the research for you. Okay. But that's what I recommend for weddings abroad.
Because I know sometimes in the Caribbean, you're not legally married if you're not legally married before you get there.
Right.
Okay.
So. Exactly. And I've heard that in Vegas, even if you get married in the city of Vegas, just because of how many people elope and then annul it, it's only legal in the city of Vegas.
Oh,
so
okay.
Don't quote me on that, but that's the rumor.
Okay. That's really interesting.
A lot of things to think about as far as the legality of it. Then my last do is definitely hire professionals. If it's just the two of you and you really don't want anyone else there, you're just going to go to a park or something to share your vows, fine. But if there's any travel involved, any
legal stuff,
any climbing up mountains, you really want professionals to help you plan the logistics, just so you're not breaking any rules. And with photographers and videographers, you are going to want to remember those things for the most part. And again, sharing those things with friends and family is always nice later on, even if it's just the two of you for the ceremony.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can't imagine eloping and not getting it videoed.
Right. Or least, at the very least, a photographer.
Yeah.
And the problem sometimes with just you two and a photographer is that if you do decide to sign your marriage license out in the middle of nowhere, a lot of times you need witnesses. You need someone who's ordained to sign the marriage license. There are just a lot of things to think about depending on what you guys are wanting to do.
What are some of your favorite places here in our area, the Pacific Northwest, to go, not get engaged. I was going to say get engaged. To elope.
This was really hard to narrow down some spots because we have so many beautiful places in the Northwest. So my list kind of covers places that are stunning and also easy to get to so that you can you're not going to be sweaty hiking to these locations. And you could also potentially have a few friends or family at these locations. Okay. So Cape Flattery is gorgeous. That's out on the coast. It's the most northwestern point in the U.S., continental U.S. Columbia Gorge, anywhere along there.
Right.
There's some stunning places just, if you go straight over I-90. But then also one of my favorite areas is down near Oregon, right on the border. It's a lot more green than the reds you see up here.
Gotcha.
Hurricane Ridge out on the peninsula.
Yes, that's one of our favorite spots.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And all of these places too, when you get your photographs, it looks like you're in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
It's amazing. Artist Point up in the North Cascades is a really good one. That's about a 4-mile hike, so it's not too bad. You probably wouldn't bring Grandma and Grandpa out to that one, but
it's at Baker, right? It's
it's up in that area, so definitely easier. Mount Rainier, so many places up there. Rattlesnake Ledge is a really popular one for elopements. That's out near North Bend. Really easy to get to. It's a little more of a hike, so you will get sweaty, but we've done it. Good makeup artists will will help with that. I've had someone hike up and down and look flawless.
Yeah.
So Snoqualmie Falls is always awesome.
Yeah.
Better on a weekday. A lot of these are better on weekdays, just less people around. Deception Pass is beautiful. There's beachy areas, waterfalls, the bridge, of course. Anywhere in the San Juans.
Okay.
So it's hard to narrow it down. There are a lot of options.
Okay.
But luckily I can help you with that.
What about worldwide? Do you have any favorites there?
Iceland is a favorite. I'm obsessed with Iceland. I was there last March and have been dying to get back.
Really?
Yeah. It's amazing.
What is it about it?
It's so hard to explain. I was there and I took 1,200 photos and I maybe shared 20 of them because everywhere you go, it's just 360-degree views. It's mountains right up against the ocean, and it's crazy. It's a very magical place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because I've seen a lot of people talk about Iceland, and I'm like,
and you have the Northern Lights and hot springs and mountains, oceans. There's black sand beaches from all the volcanic activity. Just so many beautiful spots. I don't know how I would narrow down. I would need to take someone around the whole ring road and take pictures along the way.
So you'll have to send us a picture or two so we can post that in our post, and our listeners can come look at that.
Luckily, when I was there, I ran across a couple different brides, either just doing, one was just a couple doing photos of themselves. He had this really huge telescopic lens, and he was doing self timer, and I had asked him, I actually had a nicer camera on me, so I went up to him and I was like, I know this is kind of weird, but I promise I'm a wedding planner, I'm a professional, do you mind if I take a few photos of them? So I was able to get some candid shots and some photos of them that they weren't able to get, and ended up emailing them. But I have some photos I can send you of brides in New Zealand.
So for our listeners,
Iceland.
New
Zealand was next on my list.
New Zealand's nice too.
Yeah, New Zealand's also amazing. If you can't tell, I'm definitely a big mountain person. So all of the places I really want to go involve mountains. But yeah, New Zealand's also on my list. I'd love to go there for some elopements. Banff is beautiful. There's so many amazing lakes up there that would be beautiful backdrops. Pretty much any national park in the U.S.
Right.
I love the ones that are in the Southwest.
Like Grand Canyon and things.
Yeah, Grand Canyon, Zion. Italy would be amazing. They have some really great villas over there that are surprisingly not that expensive to get married at. A lot cheaper than here.
Wow.
Nice.
Which is crazy. It would be just the travel.
I wonder if the Italians are like, oh, don't come to Italy.
Yeah.
It's so boring.
They're like, ugh. I don't even know what it is about this place. And then Southeast Asia, as far as a beachy location goes, it's relatively actually, I don't want to say relatively inexpensive. It's really inexpensive there. That would just be the travel there as well. But once you get there, everything's so cheap and so beautiful. That'd be a really great place.
I think that would be a really good place where you could get a lot of local stuff.
Definitely.
To be involved in your wedding.
Definitely. And every little bar along the beach will set up a wedding for you. And they get it a lot. So
I bet.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful place.
Now I want to go traveling.
I know.
Even more.
Right?
So to see the pictures, go to fromringtoveil.com/124 and Erika will send us some picture and we'll post them. Those up there.
Definitely.
I can't wait to see those.
So, Erika, where can our listeners find you?
They can find me on Instagram at the greatest adventure _SEA. Or you can email me at Erika with a K at newcreationsweddings.com. Definitely check out Instagram. I'm actually doing a contest right now for a dream elopement. It includes my planning and officiating services as well as a bouquet from Gather Design Company, photos from Angela Carlisle, videography from the Green Attic Film, and makeup, hair and makeup from Angela Rodriguez. So it's a full-on dream elopement package.
Is it open nationwide?
It's open nationwide. We've been actually getting submissions already from people in New Mexico and Texas and Canada.
Cool.
So it's been amazing. We're trying to find a really deserving couple, and we've had some awesome submissions so far. So you can enter through June 5th.
Through June 5th.
Yep.
Perfect.
All right.
Yay.
Thanks so much, Erika.
Thank you.
I know you always say that if you had to do it again, you would elope.
Yes, I would.
You still feel that way?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Okay. Well, it's really nice to know that there are coordinators and planners that specifically do elopements.
Right. I think it's cool. It's part of the industry that's new and up and coming because people just, people think, oh, it's an elopement. I don't need a planner. I don't need a planner because I'm just going off and getting married. But like Erika pointed out, if you're going to a destination to get hitched and it's out of the U.S., you don't know the laws of marriage there. You could get married there. You could sign it off and everything, but you're not legally married in the States.
Right.
I mean, that's easily solved. But if you don't know that, then hello, you're not married.
Exactly. And I think it's really cool that, especially for her, I'm assuming she's not the only one, but a lot of them can also marry you.
Right.
That's really cool.
That is cool.
And then she's got everything else under control, and all you really got to do is show up.
Yeah. Because, I mean, Erika does it all. She did flowers. She's an officiant. She, all of this stuff. So she's a one-stop shop.
Right. And I know that there are more out there because we've seen things like that online. So if that's something you're looking for and you're not in this area, Erika does travel.
Yeah.
But if not, if it doesn't work out, I know there are other ones elsewhere. I just think that's a cool concept.
Yeah. And I like how she, her love of travel is also part of her job. I would love to find a job like that. Like me, I want a job where I could read all day and not do anything else. That's all I want to do is read all day.
Yeah.
But lo and behold,
I couldn't do
can't.
that. I couldn't sit and read all day.
Well, I mean, you stop, do laundry.
Well, that's what we do anyway. We just don't get paid.
I know.
Just kidding. Anyway, that is really cool that she can travel for her work and get paid for it. That's pretty awesome. We wish her luck in her endeavors and hope you guys enjoyed the episode on elopements and maybe you learned a couple things.
There's a place where you can go and rent not only dresses, but high-end designer dresses.
Dresses for any occasion, but specifically for your wedding.
From the shower to the reception for the bride, bridesmaids, and guests.
It's called Rent the Runway.
It's so easy. You just search for what you want, choose a size, plus you can get a backup size for free.
Add another style for just a little extra, then choose how quickly you need it. You can even get it overnighted.
And the returns are always free.
Go to fromringtoveil.com/runway. That's fromringtoveil.com/runway to sign up.
On May 7th, we participated in the Rustic Bride Northwest Expo at Dairyland in Snohomish. It was fun.
It was fun. It was a beautiful day.
A little windy.
Little windy, but beautiful day, nice and sunshiny, and it was a beautiful venue. Had lots of vendors. We thought we'd give you a little review of our time.
They had a vendor there that did nothing but fries. French fries. That's all he cooked was French fries. They were good French fries.
Yeah, we tasted them.
Yeah.
We taste tested them just for you guys. And they had a really cool coffee truck.
Yeah.
But it was more than just a coffee truck. It had smoothies, of course, and also ice cream milkshakes. So, I mean, I'm totally on this food trucks, coffee trucks, any kind of food vendors. Yeah, I'm on that train.
And the guy with the guy with the French fry truck or the French fry cart, he had the cutest mustache. I'm not one for mustaches.
Mustaches are cute.
But this one was cute because it kind of curled up at the ends and it wasn't like a big long handlebar. It was just a little big handlebar. And he was a hipster.
Of course.
You could tell. Anyway.
Well, there were plenty of vendors there, and we talked to a lot of them. And we also talked to a lot of brides and people planning their weddings. It was really fun. We need to work on our booth.
It was kind of boring.
It was a little boring. But hey, we talked to people. We were walking around. We had our little microphone there, and we got some really good interviews with some brides and some vendors. So listen in, or you can skip it. It's only about 7 minutes. It's up to you. And hear what's going on right now.
Yeah.
All right, we're here talking with Jade. Hi, Jade.
Hi.
So what we want to know is, you have such a unique story. Why don't you tell us what happened?
Well, my future mother-in-law found this expo, and I've been kind of planning a wedding, and last night my fiance decided to propose.
Awesome. That's so cool. So what are you looking forward to in the wedding planning process?
The creativity piece, finding different ways to incorporate the different pieces that bring both our families together.
Oh, that's really sweet. Do you have a theme yet?
We're looking at kind of the rustic-y theme, so this was kind of the perfect place to start.
Very good.
My name is Jillian Sellard.
Awesome. When's your wedding?
October 28th.
Great. What is your favorite part about wedding planning?
That's a good question. I love just kind of dreaming and just kind of putting all the pieces together, and it's really fun booking things, different vendors, and seeing my vision come to life.
Right. Have you run into any snags?
Finding a venue was really hard.
Was it?
Yeah, because I have to work with my fiance's chiropractic school schedule, and so we only had a week.
Okay.
And finding a venue was really difficult, trying to get the exact date and a place that was in our budget, and just worked with us with everything we wanted.
Well, great. Well, thanks for talking with us.
And you are?
Caitlin Bry.
Hi, Caitlin. How is your wedding planning going now?
It's going pretty well. I am trying to finish some stuff, but we have most of the main things taken care of.
Have you ran into any snags during your planning?
So far not really. It's gone pretty smoothly. Yeah, it's been pretty smooth.
So you've got your venue, you've got your flowers.
We do still need to get our flowers. Yeah, that is one that we do need to get, but for the most part, everything else is done. I need makeup as well. I'm going to do my makeup. But
Thanks for talking to us.
My name is Allie Doyle.
And when are you getting married?
I'm getting married on August 27th this year.
Awesome. What is the worst part of this wedding planning?
That's a good question. I don't think that there's been anything that I think is like the worst, really. So it's probably something that is going to be in that last moment that I forgot.
Okay.
And then I'll be like, oh no, it's the worst thing.
Yes.
I forgot that. So
What's your favorite part?
I think just working with my family and friends, my fiance, and just finding fun ways to make this a special day. And everyone's like been pitching in and helping and being really supportive, and it's been really fun.
Awesome. That sounds like you have a good support system.
I do.
Great. Well, congratulations, and thanks for talking with us.
Hello, I'm Amber. I am the owner of Your Special Day Wedding and Event Coordinating.
Amber, what is your number one tip for wedding planning?
Honestly, hire a coordinator. It will literally make the day go so smooth, and the bride and the groom won't have to worry about any stress. They can just worry about getting married.
Well, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Michaela. I'm with Sugar and Spice Events. And I would say that my number one planning advice to a newly engaged couple would be to stay true to yourselves and not let everyone else's opinions get in the way.
Great. Thanks so much.
My name is Tamina Ringer with Amaranth Floral Studio, and my number one tip would be to be a little bit more flexible with your flowers and know what's in season, because you're going to get something a lot more beautiful and lush and full.
Thanks so much.
I'm Amber Shumsack from Amber Shumsack Handmade and Custom Jewelry.
Okay, so you make jewelry.
Yep, I do handmade jewelry, sugar scrubs, and bridesmaids boxes for wedding parties. We also do groom's gifts, made mothers, fathers, and so everybody.
Awesome. So what's your number one wedding planning tip?
Do what you want, I'd say, pretty much. Like, be creative, personal.
Okay, very good. I like that. Keep true to yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Are you enjoying this wedding expo here?
Yeah, it's really nice here. Everyone's been really nice. This is a beautiful venue. I haven't been here before.
Well, thanks for talking with us.
Anne Marie with One Hope Wine.
And what is One Hope Wine?
Okay, One Hope Wine is a winery out of Napa, California, and we are produced in collaboration with Robert Mondavi Jr. And what makes us special is we give back 50% of our profits of every bottle sold to partner causes. So, for example, the Brut helps feed hungry children. The Chardonnay helps women get clinical trials for breast cancer, and so on and so forth. Each of the varietals has a social cause attached to it. And then if you use our wine for a wedding or whatever, a fundraiser or upcoming event, you get to give 15% to a nonprofit of your choice.
That sounds awesome.
It is. I'm absolutely obsessed with it.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
Hi, I'm Joe. I'm with Something Borrowed, Something Blue Vintage Decoration Rentals.
We have not had any rentals on the show yet, so this is good to talk to you. Firstly, what's your number one wedding planning tip?
You know, we love to encourage brides to really bring out their unique personality and carry their look throughout the whole venue. You can really add details all over the venue on tabletops and empty corners just to really bring, your space alive.
Okay, secondly, what's like your number one rental?
Lately, I think vintage furniture pieces have been really in, doing some cute loungy spaces. Also a lot of tabletop, like vintage dishes, vintage colored goblets, some of those fun tabletop pieces.
Very good. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, I'm Jan. I'm with Party on the Rocks, event staffing and bartending service.
Very good. What is your number one wedding planning advice?
Be prepared for anything at your bar service. So we work with our clients and help them develop their shopping list, their signature cocktails. What we don't recommend is having a full bar or a cocktail that's going to get them drunk early on in the evening. So no AMFs, no Long Island iced teas.
That is a good tip. Thank you for talking with us.
Thank you.
Stephanie Smith of Mockingbird Photography and Events. I am primarily a wedding photographer, but I also offer wedding design, planning, and coordinating services.
And do you have any tips for our brides out there?
Don't skimp on anything that you really feel you should have. You'll look back and, wish you had X, Y, or Z, especially photography, because it's really the only thing you keep and look back on.
Do you specialize in one thing more than the other?
No, I've done photography for families all the way from engagement photos to next weekend I'm doing a first birthday party. I do boudoir photos individually, but I also can throw you a boudoir party, which includes food, beverage, usually mimosas or champagne, and then all of your guests get an individual mini boudoir session.
Awesome. Well, thanks for talking to us today.
Yeah, thank you.
So they're going to have this event next year again at a different venue. So look for that next year. And we are hoping to work with a lot more expos and shows and things like that so that we can bring the information to you.
So thanks for joining us. As always, we are available by email and Facebook and all kinds of things. Just hashtag us or look us up on Facebook or email us at info@fromringtovail.com. and get a hold of us. Message us on Facebook like Katie did.
Also, subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play. and many, many more places to listen to podcasts. Subscribe so that you get each and every one of these. Share us with your friends. It'd be really great if you just post it on Facebook on your feed. Hey, I found this great wedding planning podcast, and tag us.
Yeah. And if you're a bride and you want to send it to your bridesmaids, because there's a lot of information in here for bridesmaids.
That's right.
Tag them in a post.
That's right. We would love for you to share us. By the way, you guys, thank you for listening. We know by the numbers that we have some listeners out there, and we really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you very much. From the bottom of our heart.
Yes, and we're getting feedback, and we really, really, really appreciate it. You just don't know how much that how good it makes us feel, and how much that does for our wanting to keep on and do this for you guys.
Right.
So thank you. And until next time.
No stress, no worries. Keep calm and listen on. Thank you for listening to our podcast. You can find us on Facebook, From Ring to Veil, on Twitter, @From Ring to Veil, and on our website, FromRingToVeil.com.
Music provided by bensound.com. There's a ton of birds in that tree eating those stupid holly berries. I mean, like, there's probably 10 birds right there.